Hello Yu-Gi-Oh players, I'm the YGOBC and welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! In Business Casual. So, as my absolutely massive constituency of regular viewers has already figured out, I am sure, I have decided to change up the format of my videos. So, in the past, I've always done much more sporadic videos. I'd put up every once in a while when I thought I had, like, a genius idea or something. And though there's nothing wrong with that per se, instead, I have decided that for a little while, I'm going to try out taking a combination of my favorite segments and your favorite segments and wrapping it all up into one nice, more regularly scheduled show kind of thing. And really, this is something I'd be doing kind of twice a week. And it's something entirely experimental. I'm probably only going to do this for a week or two, unless I get, like, wildly positive feedback on it. So if you don't like how this works, don't flip your shit. So I won't take up any more of your time with the discussion of my inner workings of my wildly popular channel. Instead, I will get down to today's video. Today, I am going to be discussing YCS Miami and what I thought of the things that went down there, as well as a weird-ass conspiracy about Simply Unlucky's latest video, followed by the deck profile for this month's Stupid Deck of the Month. And then I will wrap it all up with a Return of the Duelist Special Edition opening. So let's get down to the video. First, YCS Miami. What did I think of it? First, it was a great event. It was the first event that I have actually followed in real time. It was really cool to see everything happening, following ARG on Facebook and watching Cordero's videos and Slim's channel. I really got an idea that I really knew what was happening at that event, and it allowed me to get a little more insight about what the event was like. So a couple of things I actually liked about the event itself. First, major props to the person who went top 4 with Karakuri Psychics. I kept wanting to say Karakuri Phoenix for some reason, but Karakuri Psychic OTK, totally cool deck. It's like the most sacky OTK-like thing I have seen since Karakuri Machina Plants, which we had back in, like, what, 2010? It was way long ago. Anyway, so that was really cool. A couple of things that I totally called, the very first being Virus Control, topping the first event, or the first major event at least, that happened after I made my 5 Traps of the Apocalypse video. If you haven't seen that yet, check it out. It is somewhere on my channel. Anyway, so totally called that. Dark World should be on your radar. If it catches you off guard, it will wreck your shit. It is my choice for the sleeper deck of the format, and like I predicted, as soon as Prophecy and Fire Fist became a big thing, it started climbing the ladder. We will be seeing a lot more from Dark World in the near future, and if you want a deck that can really take down Prophecy and can really wreck Fire Fist, Dark World is the way to go. So that was really cool. The other thing I kind of predicted was Abyss Gund. Now, this has to do with Billy Brake and Jeff Jones's Mermail and Atlantean build. That was very cool. This wasn't something I actually put into a video, but a long time ago, before Mermails came out IRL, I was playing a Mermail deck that involved Abyss Gund, and I was looking at that card, and when Mermails started actually hitting big events, after Abyss Rising came out, I was very surprised to not see people running, you know, at least one copy of Abyss Gund, since that card can be used kind of spectacularly if you use it to, you know, discard for maybe a Abyss Pikes effect, and you get back your Megalo. But now, Billy Brake and Jeff Jones put together their Mermail build with 2 Abyss Guns, so that's really cool that became a thing. It makes a lot of sense to have it now, since you have a lot more of those level 7 boss monsters in the game. So you can do a lot of rank 7 exceasing. That is very cool. The other thing, of course, the Billy Brake effect has happened again. He's topped an event with a card that everybody thought was complete crap until now. That's Abyss Squall, and you are going to see it shooting up in price. It isn't going to stay very high for very long, so if you already have them, you know, hit eBay with them. And if you don't have them, wait a little while. The hype will die down. Really, there isn't anything else I want to say about Miami. It was a very cool event. It was cool to see a 13-year-old kid topping. We're going to see a lot more of that particular Fire Fist build in the near future. If you haven't figured out what that build is yet, or you haven't seen it yet, you know, you can check out Slim's channel or Capital G's channel or any of those. They all have it. So moving on. So Simply Unlucky this week made a video in which he opened a box of The Shining Darkness, and big kind of spoiler alert here, he didn't get a single holo out of the entire box, and people were wondering how the hell that could have happened. I have a weird conspiracy theory about this, and Simply Unlucky, my man, I am just having fun here. I am not slandering you. I am not at all serious, although it would be really weird if this turned out to be the truth. So, my theory about it is that is a really, really unlikely thing, that you don't get a single holo out of an entire box. Seems a little bit fishy to me. So my thought about this is, Simply Unlucky is famous for being extremely lucky. He always gets good pulls in his box. It's almost to the point where people expect that of him. They go to watch a Simply Unlucky video, and they basically expect that he is going to get the best pulls that it is possible to get. He doesn't really get bad pulls anymore. So I was thinking, if people are always expecting him to get pulls, wouldn't it get kind of boring? Wouldn't people stop watching his videos because they're like, oh, he's just going to get all the best cards in the set, so there's no point in watching this video. So what if he was thinking, you know what would really get people's attention is if I got a box that didn't have any holos in it. So it is entirely possible. It is not outside the realm of possibility, although I don't think he would do it. Don't anybody freak out. That he could have, you know, found a way to scale a ton of boxes, found the lightest one, and gotten that one. And that one just happened to have absolutely zero holos in it. I don't know how that would have worked, and once again, I am not at all serious about this, but I thought that that was an interesting thought, that instead of getting awesome pulls, as he always does, which people might be getting bored of, he tried getting a box that has no holos in it. So, moving on, the next part of my show is the stupid deck of the month. Now, this is something I tried way back, and it didn't work out very well, and last month I promised you guys I would try again. So this is my stupid deck of the month for February. Now, I had the misfortune of deciding that my second stupid deck of the month is going to be something that turns out to be so difficult to get all the cards for, it might as well have been a prophecy deck. Like, some of these I had more difficulty finding on the internet than frickin' like Championship Pack of Book of Moon. Nobody I knew had many of these cards. So I didn't actually end up getting most of the cards for the deck, but I did test it out on DN the entire week, or the entire month, rather. So the story behind this deck was I was looking at an article about rogue deck theory, and I was thinking about back in the day when I thought Gearfried the Swordmaster was like the greatest card of all time, and then I realized, wait, all those Noble Arms cards could plus off of Gearfried the Swordmaster. And I played around with that idea, and I realized it was an absolutely ridiculous idea, and it was even way too stupid for my stupid deck of the month. So instead, I decided to look around for more Gearfried things, and as a result, I have discovered my stupid deck for February, Scrap Iron Knights, which is a much better name than Scrapfried. You will see how that works in a second. I have a couple of proxies in this deck, because I couldn't get the cards in real life. Like I said, it was impossible to find some of them. Let's get down to the deck profile. First, we have, of course, 3 Gearfried the Iron Knight. Now, the big question is, what the hell could Gearfried the Iron Knight be useful for? You can't even use any good equip cards with this guy, because as soon as you equip them to him, they die. We'll get to that in a minute. Next, we have 2 Scrap Beast. Scrap Beast is Scrap Beast. It's revivable with Scrap Dragon, and it's a level 4 tuner, and you can also revive it with Scrap Chimera. These two together make a lot of good combos to make Scrap Dragon. There are a lot of ways to use Scrap Beast to make Scrap Dragon, a lot of ways to pull Scrap Beast out of this deck. And the Scrap Dragon is important, as you will see in a moment. Then 2 Thunder King Ryo, because it's a stun kind of deck, it's a stun control-ish deck, and Thunder King is really, really good this format. Next, we have 2 Summoner Monks. I don't actually have 2 Summoner Monks. I thought I did, but I don't. Summoner Monk you can use to discard some of your excess spell cards. There are a lot of spell cards in this deck. To get out either your Gearfried or your Scrap Beast. to get Scrap Dragon, and it allows you to speed the deck up quite a bit. Next, we have 2 Photon Thrasher, another way to make Scrap Dragon early in the game. You can also use it with your Gearfrieds to make things like Blade Armor Ninja and Excalibur. Next, we have 2 Maxi, because this deck goes at minus quite a bit, and you need some extra draw power. Next, we have 2 Pot of Duality for the spells. I gave away my Pot of Duality to a kid at Locals recently, so I only have 1. Then we have 1 Scrap Storm and 1 Yard. Since I'm not running 3 Scrap Beast and 3 Chimera, I decided one of each of these cards will do alright. I decided not to run 3 Scrap Beast and 3 Scrap Chimera because I didn't want this to be really a scrap-based deck. Like, there's a scrap engine in it, but I didn't want it to just be a scrap deck. Then we have 1 Rhoda to get out your monsters. We have Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, Heavy, because those are basically staples. We have 1 Warrior Returning Alive, because you've got a lot of warriors, and your most integral part of the deck is a warrior. So we then have 2 MSTs, 1 Forbidden Lance, and now we get into the reason why this deck works and why Gearfried the Iron Knight is a thing. Now, I know these look like 3 Premature Burials, but what it's supposed to be is 3 Smoke Grenade of the Thief. Now, Smoke Grenade of the Thief is an equipped spell card, which says that if this card is equipped to a monster and it gets destroyed by a card effect, you can look at your opponent's hand, choose 1 card in that hand, and discard it. So it's basically confiscation when you equip it to Gearfried the Iron Knight. So you put a Gearfried on the board, you equip it with your Smoke Grenade of the Thief, and then you immediately get to look at your opponent's hand and discard a card from it. So, really cool card. It works even better in combination with Scrap Dragon. You equip it to your Scrap Dragon, you target your Smoke Grenade of the Thief and an opponent's monster, you get to take out a card from your opponent's side of the field and a card from your opponent's hand, you go at plus with it, and it totally cripples their plays. It's awesome. Then I have 2 Mirror Force, because I don't like using Torrential. You have a hard enough time keeping monsters on the board, and you really need to keep as much field presence as possible. Unfortunately, Mirror Force is kind of slow. People can try out Torrential if they really want, or the Solemn Brigade. I also have an issue with life points in this deck. So there. Then we have 2 Bottomless for more field clearing. We have 1 Starlight Rogue, because I have a lot of spell and trap cards in this deck that end up staying on the field for a while. 1 Macrocosmos. I realize that this kind of clashes with the Scrap Engine, but used at the correct time against a lot of decks this format, this card can really be like the perfect stun card, so I like teching in 1. And then finally we have 3 Blast with Chain, which is another card you can use in combination with Gearfried and Scrap Dragon. Blast with Chain basically gives the monster 500 attack, but if it's equipped to a monster and it is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, which it would be if you equip it to Gearfried, you get to destroy 1 card on the field. So this basically becomes 1-for-1 spot removal for any card on the field in combination with Gearfried, and then you can plus off of it with Scrap Dragon. So, really cool deck right there. I'm going to take a moment to pause and take a break to restart my computer here, and then we have the final part of the show for today. I feel like I'm kind of moving pretty fast, so let me know if that's a problem with these segments. So this Return of the Duel Special Edition has been sitting in my Walgreens for a long time, and I haven't wanted to buy it because it's like $1 or $2 more expensive than it is pretty much anywhere else. But it's been sitting there for a long time, and I've been doing a lot of openings, so I figured let's open this today. So let's get down to the opening. As usual, I am having issues opening this box. Once again, giving me feedback about this style of show. I won't be asking that as much in the next one. I'm sure that could probably be annoying. But here we go. Alright, first, we have the promo, which is Acid Golem. Yep, called it. So that's pretty cool. I've been getting a lot of librarians recently, so I suppose Acid Golem is nice to get every once in a while, even though it's probably the worst of the 2 promos. Let's get a little closer to the camera now, so you guys can see the pulls as I open them. We start off with a Medulce, Baffle. Then we have Damage Mage. We have whatever the hell that is. And whatever the Gagaga Rush. We have a Chronomaly Crystal Skull and 3,000 Needles. So first pack is just a rare. moving on to pack number 2. We start off with Geargy Accelerator. We have that guy, and that is a Chronomaly Golden Jet. We have a trap card of unknown origin. We have a Heroic Challenger something or other, and we have Turnabout. So far, it's looking like my $11 were not very well spent. But if this last pack actually has like a secret in it or something, I will actually bother to start my own eBay page. We're going to start with Noble Gallatin, Catapult Zone, Amores of Prophecy, another Compulsory Escape Device. I've already got all the ones I need. We have that card, and we have Heroic Champion Excalibur. Alright, so it wasn't the best special edition opening ever, but I got Excalibur, so it wasn't an absolute waste, but that was kind of fun. So, next week, or not next week, next video, which I will be putting up on Thursday, I will be talking about net decking. I will also have my review for Evil Swarms, and, probably most excitingly for you guys, I will be announcing my very first giveaway contest. So stick around for that, and I will see you guys next time. This is the RJB0, signing out.